Morning everyone, welcome to another Compliance Over Coffee on an overcast Thursday morning in the northwest. However, we're talking this morning about something called timing of verification and why it's important. What on earth is timing of verification, I hear you ask? Well, there's a lot of topics to cover under anti-money laundering that HMRC expect to see as minimum standards. Not many people talk about them. Having said that, not many people like them as much as I do, I suppose. Timing of verification is one of them. And when HMRC issue their lists of people who have been fined, and you can click on the reports and look at the detail of what they've been fined for, timing of verification is something that is there the vast majority of fines. So what is it, and why as sourcing agents do we need to be aware of it? And not just aware of it, but understand how it fits in with those risk assessments, controls and procedures. Timing of verification is all about when you verify the identity of your client and carry out due diligence. Now, for you to understand the differences between an estate agent and a high street estate agent, and therefore HMRC's guidance around estate agency work, you need to understand the differences between us. So the high street estate agent's contracted client, the person who pays their fees, is always the seller. And estate agents, high street estate agents, must always carry out ID verification and due diligence on that client, the seller, prior to entering into a business relationship. They do the same on the buyer, dependent on their risk assessment, at the point when an offer has been accepted. And this has been said to be acceptable by HMRC. That is a high street estate agent. Bear in mind that the person who, generally speaking, pays our fees, sourcing agents, deal packages, whatever you want to call yourselves, is the buyer. So reverse what I've just said about the estate agents and say to yourself, who's paying my fee? The buyer. They're my contracted client, therefore I must carry out ID verification and client due diligence prior to entering into a business relationship. So we understand now the differences between the high street estate agent and the sourcing agent, and that timing of verification is key. That timing is down to you doing that due diligence prior to entering into a business relationship. So why can it get sticky for sourcing agents? It can get sticky because a lot of sourcing agents, when they come off courses, are told to build up a list of investors in a spreadsheet, to then go out and find deals, send those deals over to those investors, and wait for one to say, yes, we want it. The big question is, have you entered into a business relationship? When you chat with investors, you get information off them and you put them into an email list and you're communicating with them. My thoughts are yes, you have. HMRC states you don't have to have a written contract for you to have entered into a business relationship. So the question will be is how would HMRC see that? And to be honest, I have no definitive answer for you. But what I can tell you is if the estate agent, the high street estate agent, has to have done it prior to marketing the property or doing any definitive business work for that seller, then you get the idea that we have to do exactly the same. That's why I strongly suggest that for money laundering purposes, you find the investor first, you get them registered with you and onboarded, you carry out your ID verification, client due diligence, and then you source to order. Because think about it. If you haven't done ID verification and client due diligence and they're just in a list or you've never met them, and you have a deal and you send it out and someone says they want it, you cannot send it to a solicitor for it to progress to purchase and let the solicitor do the due diligence for you. You're in breach of money laundering regulations. So, ID verification is one of the top things that HMRC look for. Look for proof that you are compliant with minimum standards, And if not, when you're inspected, we'll add that to the list of what the fine is for. So that's a little bit of a deeper dig into anti-money laundering and something a little bit more tighter than we normally look at, so specifically ID verification, what it is, the timing of it, how HMR see it, and how it affects how we operate and the differences between us and a high street estate agent. All very concise and in just a few minutes. If you're interested in learning more about anti-money laundering, about how we have to legally operate, about how you meet minimum standards because you didn't know anything about that, then Tony will put a link underneath this video and you can book a free 15-minute call with me and we can chat through what your knowledge base is at the moment and where you may be lacking and how, if at all, we may be able to help. That's Compliance Over Coffee for this morning. I'll be back again with you next Thursday at the normal time, 8:30, as normal. In the meantime, have a fantastic weekend and I hope that the sun shines where you are. Bye for now.